So now let's move on to your next topic after extraordinary general meeting. It is the board of directors meeting. Now what is the board of directors meeting? The name itself suggests that it is the meeting of the directors, right? So the meaning is the directors are the representatives, okay? Directors are the representative of shareholders. Now shareholders and are responsible for overall supervision and management of the company, okay? Basically they are representing the shareholders and they are responsible for the overall management of the company. Okay, how the company is managing, how the company is working. So basically they are responsible for the management and supervision of the company. Now the directors meet at regular intervals, say once in fortnight or once in a month. Okay, they basically meet either once in fortnight, okay, or they meet once in a month. Now why are they meeting? Basically they are meeting to decide and discuss the matters relating to the company. Usually the articles will fix the dates of board meetings. Example, like it could be 1st of every month or 16th of every month. Okay, it could either be, it will be 1st of every month when the directors are meeting, or it could be 16th of every month when the directors are meeting. Now the Companies Act has laid down the meeting of directors must be held once in 3 months or 4 meetings in a year. Either once in 3 months, okay, 3 months at least once they have to meet, or 4 meetings in a year has to be conducted for the directors, okay, after giving necessary gaps. Now this was the meaning of board of directors, how they are representing and how they are doing it. Now next is the powers which are to be exercised only at board meeting. Okay, now these are the powers that need to be exercised only at the board meetings by the directors. Now in the following matters, that directors cannot pass resolution by circulation and must be must be passed only at the board meeting. Now suppose there be certain matters in which the directors cannot pass any decision, okay, but they can pass it only at the board meeting. Now let's look into what the matters are. First is to fill the casual vacancy, okay. These are the following things. To fill a casual vacancy among the directors, these are the matters in which the directors can give the due consent in the board meeting, okay. The first one is to fill a casual vacancy amongst the directors, in case if there is any vacancy, in case due to an emergency death, or in case if they removed a particular director because of his misbehavior or anything, to fill that particular casual vacancy. Next is to make a call on share, okay, to make a call on share or to issue debentures or otherwise borrow money or make loans or invest in companies' funds, okay. If they have to call for a particular share, if the directors want to call for a particular share, or if they want to issue a debenture, or if they want to borrow a money, or if they want to make loans, if they want to borrow any sorts of loans, or if they want to invest the company's amount of money in any particular project, they can discuss this in the board meeting. Next is to appoint a managing director who is already appointed as a managing director in any other company. Now, okay, to appoint a managing director who is already appointed as such in another company. To invest in company's funds in the shares and debentures of another company. If they want to invest in the company's funds in the debentures and shares in the other company, okay. Now to give approval, okay, to give approval to the appointment of manager in more than 2 companies. If the particular person is working as a manager in more than 2 companies, then if you want to give approval that if he can work as a manager in your company also, then you can do so in the board meeting. Okay, this can be done by the directors. Now to obtain sanction, okay, to obtain sanction to any contract in which a director has direct or indirect interest, okay. If a particular suppose if your particular company has got a contract, okay. Now in that particular contract, whether the director might have interest or does not have interest, they can obtain sanction to that particular contract. They can issue amount to that particular contract for that particular contract to work effectively and achieve its goals. Now next one is restriction on powers of board, okay. Now what are the restrictions? Now what are the powers that are restricted during the time of board meeting by the directors? Now the board of a public limited company, now as you all know, it is public limited, limited by shares, limited by, it is a limited company, it is an unlimited company and a foreign company. But the board of a public limited company or a subsidiary private company is prohibited from exercise. This is only for, these restrictions are only for public limited company and subsidiary private company. Only they are prohibited from exercising any of these following powers except with the consent of members in the general meeting. Okay, but if the people if the members are giving them permission in the general meeting to exercise these powers, they can do so, but otherwise they are prohibited. They are not allowed to exercise these following powers. Okay, and amongst those powers are, first is the power to invest otherwise than in trust securities the sale proceeds of the company's undertakings. Okay, their power to invest. Okay, if the members are giving their permission, they can go ahead, but otherwise they are not allowed to go and invest in trust or securities or the sale proceeds of the company undertakings. This is only in terms of public limited company and subsidiary private company. Now, next is the power to sell, lease or otherwise dispose of the company's undertakings. Okay. Next is power to remit or give time of repayment a debt due by the director. Power to appoint a sole selling agent. Power to borrow money exceeding the aggregate of paid up capital and free reserves of the company. Now these particular powers are barred by the are barred from usage for the public limited company and subsidiary private company, except when the members of the general meeting are giving them permission to exercise these particular powers. Okay, now these are the powers that are actually banned except for the permission. Now next is the notice of hold the board meeting. Now notice for holding a particular board meeting, again, as we all looked into earlier topics, it was given as 21 days prior, right? Now here it is basically saying that the date, time and place for the particular meeting has to be duly specified, and it has to be sent to all members, to every director by the secretary. Now secretary has to send the meeting specifying the date, time and place of the meeting. The secretary has to send it to each and every director who is going to attend this particular meeting. The agenda has to be set, the minutes of the meeting, the proceedings of the meeting. Okay, everything has to be recorded by the secretary. Whoever is present for the meeting, whoever is absent for the meeting, all of this has to be recorded. Okay, now the act provides that if any officer who is responsible to issue any such notice fails to do so, he will be punishable by law, punishable by a fine of ₹100. Now in case if there is any particular person who was supposed to issue any notice, and if he fails to do so, okay, even if the secretary is failing to make a notice of the particular meeting or anything as such, then they will be punishable by paying a fine of ₹100 as per the law. Now next is the voting in the meeting. Now voting, what is the voting procedure in the board? Okay, now voting means determining the sense of opinion of a meeting. Okay, voting means determining a sense of opinion in the meeting, whether a meeting approves or disapproves. Okay, whether your meeting is approving or disapproving of the proposal placed before. A proposal is also known as voting. Okay, proposal is also known as voting. Now what are the methods of voting? Now methods of voting is as follows. Okay, this is only being done in the board meeting. Now there are various methods in which chairman of the meeting determines the sense of the meeting. Okay, basically they include the following. That is, first is acclamation, second is voice, third is show of hands, next is division, standing vote, ballot. Okay, ballot, and lastly it is poll. Through these methods they can carry out their meeting. Now first is acclamation. What is the acclamation? Is nothing but they are expressing their approval, whether they want to approve the particular decision or whether they want to disapprove. They will approve or disapprove by applauding or clapping or cheering. It is called of voting by acclamation. Okay, if they want to approve or disapprove anything, they will express it. They will express it by either cheering or clapping or applause. This is known as voting by acclamation. Next is voice. Now voice is if they want to, if any member in the particular board wants to approve or disapprove, they will, under this particular method, if the chairman is satisfied with the sufficient discussion. Now all the discussion has been made and the chairman is also satisfied. Now before passing the motion in the members, okay, based on that they will see as to who are the members in the motion. They will see if the whatever discussion was being made, how many members are in favor and how many members are against the particular thing. Based on this, voting will be done and results will be decided on the volume of voice, based on the amount of volume for discussion. Okay, if people are continuously discussing, based on the volume of voice, the decision will be taken. Next is show of hands. Show of hands is basically you are showing hands, like you're voting through by using your hands. Okay, now either if you are approving a particular thing, you will raise your hands. If you're disapproving, you might not raise your hands. Okay, you are showing you're showing your hands expression, and you are voting for the particular decision. Now based on that, the voting will be done and the result will be decided. Now next one is division. Division is basically wherein you are dividing into two groups. The members, whoever are present in the board meeting, they are dividing themselves into two groups. One will be in favor and one will be against. Okay, whatever decision is being made, one will be in the favor of decision, one group will be in the favor of decision, and one will be in the will not be in the favor of the decision which is being made. Based on this, the whatever number is there, based on this whatever number is there, suppose if there are more number of people who are in favor of the particular decision, then the result will be positive. Then the or else if there are more number of people who are not ready for the decision, if they are not okay with the decision, then the decision will be based on then the voting will be taken, and the necessary decision will be taken. Then the motion will be lost if there are more number of members who are against the decision. Next is standing votes. Standing votes is nothing but wherein there are people are standing on their seats. Okay, standing on the seats, if they are in favor of the particular decision, then they will stand on the seat and vote. Okay, and they will declare the result. Based on that, based on how many number of members are standing in favor of the decision, the votes will be counted and the decision will be taken. Now next is ballot voting. Ballot voting, as you all know, it is a piece of paper. Like suppose if you want to make a particular person as a director, okay, and there are two people who are contesting for a director, then if you want to suppose if you want to make the person A as a director, then you have to write their name in chits and you have to put it in the ballot. Okay, and based on whoever receives a greater number of chits, based on that the vote will be taken and the result will be decided. That is ballot voting. Okay, you're voting through chits. Next is poll. Poll is nothing but this is a kind of method which you are generally following, wherein either you are poll is basically wherein you are taking into consideration each and every person's opinion, and wherein you're either you can do polling either through hands, or you can either stand up on your seats, or showing of hands, or one member has one vote. Okay, you can raise a favor in a particular person. Suppose if you as I told you earlier, suppose there are two people who are contesting for a director. Suppose if you want to make one person as the director whom you really want, then you can vote in his favor and you can show your polling results. You can show whether you are in favor of that particular person or you are in unfavor of that particular person. Through polling also the votes are decided. Moving on to your next topic, we have motion. Now, what is this motion? Motion means basically before meeting of a company, all matters are placed in form of proposal, which are called as motion. Okay, before the company meeting is done, all the matters are placed in form of proposal as to what is the matter which is going to be discussed, and all of this which are called as motion. Now, in other words, it refers to topic or subject which is proposed on the basis of discussion in a meeting. Okay, whatever matters are going to be discussed in the meeting is known as motion. Whatever the proposal for the meeting is known as motion. Next is amendment. What is amendment? Amendments means modification or alteration to motion before you put a vote for adoption. Okay, before you are accepting something, if you want to make any necessary modification or alteration, this is known as amendment. Okay, now next is proxy. All of these are very important 2 markers. Please keep in mind, very important. Okay, very important topics. Next is proxy. What is proxy? Proxy, as we all looked into earlier also, proxy, any member entitled to attend and vote at a general meeting may appoint another person. Okay, any member entitled to attend and vote at a general meeting may appoint any other person, whether a member or not, is called proxy. Okay, if a particular person is there and if the particular person is entitled to attend, if you have invited the person to attend the meeting and to also vote in that particular meeting, then that particular member is known as proxy. Now, as we looked in earlier also, there are 2 types of proxy, that is special proxy and general proxy. Now, special proxy is wherein only authorized person can vote, whereas general proxy is basically to vote on all resolutions in the meeting. Only special proxy is wherein only on a particular resolution, only on a particular decision they can vote, whereas special general proxy is wherein they can vote in any of the resolutions in a particular meeting. Now next is minutes. What is minutes? Minutes refers to record of business transacted and decisions arrived at a meeting. Okay, as how much time you took in order to conduct the particular meeting, and what is the amount of time you took to arrive at a particular decision for the particular meeting. Okay, next is resolution. Resolution is defined as formal decisions of a meeting of any motion which is before it. Okay, whatever resolution is there, nothing but it is a formal decision. Whatever decision you want to take, it is a formal decision of any meeting of whatever based on any discussion that has been taken place in the particular meeting. Based on that, any decision which is taken is known as a resolution. Now, classifications for resolution, that is ordinary resolution, special resolution, and resolution requiring special notice. Now, ordinary resolution. What is ordinary? Now, ordinary resolution is basically the one which requires simple majority, that is more than 50% of votes, okay, in cast or person by proxy in the favor of resolution. Whatever decision is being taken, at least you need to have 50% of people who will be supporting that particular decision, okay. This is ordinary resolution. Now, ordinary resolution is one in which requires a simple majority of more than 50% of votes, okay, in the favor. And also the particular including the vote of the chairman or including the vote of the chairman. If there is any chairman who is present in the meeting, they will have to take all of that. Now, whatever information is being whatever voting is being done and whatever resolution has been passed within 21 days, the notice has to be given for the particular meeting, okay. Now, special resolution. Special resolution is wherein the intention to propose a resolution is special. Now, except for the ordinary resolution, except for the ordinary decision making, you if you have any special resolution, like if you want to change director, or if you want to make necessary matters regarding the interest amount or profit and loss, all of this special resolution will be passed. Now, the intention to propose the resolution as special resolution is specified of the other than general meeting. Okay, this cannot be done in general meeting. You need to call for a special meeting, okay, ordinary special meeting. Only in that a special resolution can be passed. Now, it requires at least 75% of votes either by show of hands or poll in person. Okay, you need to have 75% of votes, but in ordinary resolution only 50% of votes in your favor. But in special resolution you need to have 70% of votes. This votes can be collected either by showing hands or by ballot voting or by poll voting. Okay, now special resolution will be done only in these kind of matters. That is, first one is altering the memorandum, then changing the registered office, changing the name of company, alteration of articles, paying interest out of capitals, reduction in share capitals, determining the remuneration of any director, voluntary winding up of the company, further issue of shares. Only in these particular matters a special resolution meeting will be called and a special resolution will be taken, a decision will be taken, wherein you need to have 75% of votes in your favor, and the voting will be done either through ballot voting or voting by standing, or by showing hands, or by the poll voting. Now, special resolution requires a special notice. Again, a notice should be provided at least 21 days prior, and the secretary has to make sure that this particular notice is published in newspapers, and also everyone is given information of this particular notice. Okay, now a special resolution must be notified to the companies at least 14 days before the particular meeting, or it could either be 21 days before the meeting. It should not be less than 7 days. Okay, 7 days. It should not be less than 7 days. It could be more than that. Now, the following matters requiring special notice before they are discussed. Okay, these are the matters which actually require a special notice before they are actually discussed. That is to appoint annual general meeting, or appointing an auditor, a person other than retiring auditor. If you want to appoint a particular auditor in place of the person who is retiring, to resolve any annual general meeting that a retiring auditor shall not be reappointed. If you want to resolve any sorts of issue, okay, or basis of that, then to remove a director before the expiry, because if he's conducted any mischief, to appoint another director in place of the removed director. Only in these matters a special notice has to be given for a special ordinary meeting. Okay, now there is difference between motion and resolution. Moving on to the next topic, you have difference between motion and resolution. Now, as we all know, motion is something wherein you are proposing something before the particular meeting as to what you want to discuss in the particular meeting. Resolution is once the decision is being made, you are arriving at a conclusion and you are making it as a final decision. Now, a motion is formally moved by one or the seconded by one a motion is formally moved by one and it is moved by the another member, whereas a resolution, no such formalities are required. Okay, a motion must be written and signed. A resolution being a final decision of the meeting, it should be recorded in minutes. Okay. Now, a motion may be changed at the time before putting a vote. Okay, motion, if you want to change a particular decision, or if you want to make any sorts of alterations, you can do it in the form of motion. But once a resolution is being passed, the same you need to change it only. You can make necessary changes only in the next meeting. You cannot make any necessary changes in this particular meeting itself. Whereas a motion can be withdrawn if all members are agreeing, but whereas a resolution cannot be withdrawn because it becomes a part of the minutes of the meeting. Now, there may be three types of motion, that is main motion, formal motion, and substantive motion. Whereas resolution is either ordinary resolution, special resolution, which is passed at the general meeting. Now, a motion initiates discussion on the agenda, whereas a resolution is the discussion on the agenda item. Okay, this is initiating the decision, this is including and concluding the decision. That is, resolution is including and concluding the decision. Now, moving on to your next topic, that is adjournment. Then again, this is a very important topic which can be asked as meanings for you all. Now, what is adjournment? Adjournment means the proceedings, that is suspending the proceedings of the meeting, being the meeting continued. Suppose now the meeting has to be conducted on the particular date, okay, and the meeting has to be conducted at 12 p.m. sharp. Now, they will watch for half an hour. If the people are late by half an hour, then they will adjourn. They will cancel and postpone the meeting at a later date. Okay, this is known as adjournment. Next is postpone. Postponement is basically when you are postponing a particular meeting. Okay, postpone means deferring the holding of a meeting itself at a later date. This particular meeting, which was supposed to be held today, is postponed to tomorrow or day after. Okay, this is postponing the meeting. Next is dissolution. Dissolution means termination, wherein you're terminating the meeting, you're cancelling the meeting. Okay, that means the meeting will no longer exist. Suppose the meeting had to be held today, it will be cancelled. You're not going to hold the meeting sometime later. Dissolution means termination of meeting. The meeting has no longer been existence. Once it has been dissolved. Okay, in case if the matter has been solved or something, then there is no need to conduct a particular meeting, so the meeting will be cancelled. So with this particular topic, we come to an end of your 4th chapter, that is corporate meeting, and we will be continuing with your 5th chapter in your next video. Thank you, girls.